In this video, I'm going to talk about should you ever hold a day trade position overnight. Stay tuned. Hey traders, a very warm welcome to you. Okay, so you're a day trader. You like the idea of going flat at the end of the day. However, you keep seeing the markets gapping up the next day. You keep seeing prices having multi-day moves, and you think, I've done all that work, I finessed my entry intraday, and I'm not getting enough juice out of the trade. So you start to think, okay, should I now hold my day trade position overnight? Let's have a look at the pros and cons of doing both. So, by the very definition of a day trade is we're opening and closing in the same day. If we're swing trading, the idea is we're looking to get on and hold for multi-day, multi-week, multi-month moves. The theory or the appeal of day trading is we go home flat, and it doesn't matter what happens overnight. We wake up the next morning, we assess the conditions, and we trade for the conditions that are given to us on the day. Whether that's a mean reversion strategy, whether that's a trading strategy, whether that's sitting back and doing nothing. And the appeal of that is that whatever happened yesterday, and what happens today is just a process that we do. But obviously the problem is we're missing out on some moves. Or, are we missing out on some moves? Is it genuine that? Are we just thinking that because we're not involved in it? Is the grass always green on the other side? Let's have a look at a couple of ideas. So I think there's a couple of ways of doing it. One is you say to yourself, hey, listen, I'm never going to hold my position overnight no matter what happens, and that's fine. If you want to do that, stick to that. I think that's fine, but don't get lured into kind of doing it on the fly. The most dangerous thing you can do is adjust your trading plan on the fly. In other words, hey, now I'm going to break my rule and hold it overnight. If you haven't planned for it, do not do it. But let's look at the process of planning for it. Okay, you've got two scenarios. You've got a losing position. Okay, you're in a losing position and you're in a winning position. Okay, and let's put a third one in. You're kind of in a mixed position. And what I mean by that is it may be a little bit losing, maybe a little bit winning, maybe up 10 ticks, down 10 ticks. It's not massive. It's kind of, just sitting there, not very comfortable either way. So would we hold a losing position overnight? My view on that is never. If you've gone in as a day trade and it's not working, then there's no reason to hold it overnight. The whole point of the day trade is that we don't have that. So I would always say no, do never hold a losing position overnight, no matter what the scenario is. Do you hold a winning position overnight? This is where I think you can add some flexibility, and personally, I do. If I am looking to hold, if I believe that there's more leg room in a trade, in my trading plan, I say, hey, if I have a good cushion on the trade, and again, this is pretty inferior psychologically, doesn't make any sense, but for me, it helps me sleep better, and my position is dialed down, i.e. I've scaled out, because by the nature of day trading, most of us are trading a lot more size intraday than we would be swing trading because of the exposure to risk, overnight risk that we get with swing trading, we don't with day trading. So I always say to myself, okay, yes, if we reduce the position size and we've got a cushion. So in other words, let's say I've gone long on USD JPY, it's gone up, I've taken maybe a third off, a scalp, I've taken another third off, and now it's coming, it's time to go to bed or whatever, it's late at night. Do I want to hold this position overnight? Yes or no. Now I know it's a little bit different with currencies because there isn't really an overnight session, but the point is, do you want to kind of hold it for the next day? And it's not necessarily the market move, it's the psychology of going to bed with a position. If it's going to affect your sleeping, then just don't do it. A better example is going to be something like a stock. Okay, you've got a stock, there's a definite close. When it's closed, you lose control of the risk. Do you hold a position overnight? That is definitely when I'm going to say, hey, I want to have my position reduced. I want to have a decent price cushion, because I don't want to have a full size position. It's sitting there and then just suddenly gap, and it's just taking out all my risk parameters that I've normally got on my day trade. So what it comes down to is personal planning. You can say, yes, I will hold my position overnight, whether that is a currency pair you're saying overnight, as in when you go to bed and turn off the computer. Is it going to be a stock where you've got a lot more gap risk? Is it going to be an index? You just have to calculate what you're going to do in the cold light of day. As I said, the worst thing to do is to do stuff on the fly. Okay, and the final one we've got is when it's mixed. So in other words, you know, we've taken a trade, it's gone in our way, it's not near our stop, it's not really near our target, it's not doing a lot. In that scenario, personally for me as well, I wouldn't hold that. I'd ditch it. I'd get rid of it. It hasn't done what I wanted to do quickly. I don't want to hold it overnight. Now, of course, you can add caveats into that and say, well, if it's part of us kind of once in a quarter setup that I get, I'm prepared to take the risk on it. By all means, do so. But not forgetting that, you know, your reason you're day trading is for a reason. It's either because you don't like the risk overnight, you can't sleep with the position, you like the fact that you wake in the morning. So, you know, adding this hybrid strategy is fine, but being careful you don't think the grass is green on the other side. And also, the third and final time I'll say it, guys, is, you know, don't adjust it on the fly. If you believe there's an opportunity to hold a winning position and get a multi-day move, and a perfect scenario is this. You know, let's think of an actual real life scenario. We've been trading, we've got on the end of a trade, we're long from here, it's pushed out very nicely, it's closed at highs. Let's say this is the DAX or it's the Dow, the bell's gone. I do want to hold it overnight. You know, technically we probably do, because the likelihood of us getting a bit of follow through in the next morning is quite high. We're in at a nice entry, we want to extract a little bit more out of it. So we'd only be closing it purely for psychological reasons as opposed to anything else. It still trades overnight, so we're not going to get much slippage like we would with a stock. You know, if it drifts down overnight, we can put our stop loss in here. We're still going to get filled if we're using a spread betting broker. Obviously different at the weekend, but Monday to Friday, that will be the case. Then we've got a good argument for holding it overnight. We've got a good cushion, the size has been reduced, we've scaled out into this move, then it makes sense. And as long as we can sleep comfortably, then there's no reason not to. So that's my thoughts on holding a day trade position overnight. Let me know your thoughts as well in the comment section below, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Take care, bye-bye.